Well, hello, guys and gals. It's me, your old buddy, Mr. Moose, back for another Farm Simulator 15 mod showcase. And today we're focusing in on the Holmer DLC. That's right, it is finally here. And here are all of the attachments and items that you get with the DLC. Now, it was $9.99 US for me, and I'm kind of impressed with it so far. You get the Holmer T4. Which is for harvesting your sugar beets. You get your sugar beet header here that you will use on the front of it to take off the tops off the vegetation and actually dig up the sugar beets. And then as far as the other piece of machinery you get the Holmer variant 600. And this is like a saddle track. It works with the implements that are back behind it, which include the Holmer grain auger wagon. Then you have your another auger wagon that is specific for sugar beets. You have your Hammer slurry sprayer and injector that comes with it. And then finally you have your Bergman manure spreader. So those are the four attachments that work with the Terra variant. So, and then finally the last piece of the whole package is your header trailer for your T4. So that's what you get in the package. We'll take a look at each of the pieces of machinery during this video. We'll showcase how everything works, and we'll just have a little bit of fun. We'll start with the T4. I'll take you through it. We'll give it a walk around. You guys can look at all the different looks of it and see how it looks. It's very well done as far as the detail on it and everything. Got a little bit of artwork back here on the back of it to showcase the machine. I like all the little, you got your little pop outs here for different access panels. It's very well done. Come on back around, some big old tires. Your offload chutes here. This is your conveyor that takes the sugar beets up. Your whirlwind cage here that transfers them from the digger back to the conveyor. Some stabilizer arms there. Then you've got your front end connector here for the digger and the conveyor belt up underneath it. Then we have our actual digger slash vegetation topper that everything gets dug up. Little rakes dig it and put them onto the little augers that pull it back to the back. And then you have your topper on the front to cut the vegetation off. Very nice. Let's jump up inside of it, take a look at the interior. We'll start down here and just kind of look. Your controls on the panel. You got a seat for your buddy. Steering wheel, lighting on the steering, or some instrumentation lights there on the steering wheel. Your computer or monitoring station. All your drive controls. You even got a little plug-in for your USB for your cell phone. Lots of light switches up here at the top. Your thermostat for your AC, climate control, radio, all that good stuff. Rear camera monitor. Nicely done. Let's start her up, see what she sounds like. I'll do it once from the inside, once from the outside. And that's your interior start. Let's get outside and start her up again. All right, now that she is running, let's check out turn signals. Yep. Brake lights. Yep. We put her in reverse lights. Nice. Beacons. You got your beacon on the back, beacons on the front. Very cool. All right, control-wise on this, to unpack her, we're going to hit the X button or whatever button you have that normally unpacks the device. X is your standard. And it'll lift up the stabilizer wheels, unfurl the entire thing. And she's ready to work at that point. Now, if you were going to offload, you'd hit O, which is standard in the game for opening up your pipe. And then you do have a little bit of pipe controls. If I open up the help menu, you'll see that if I hold my left mouse button down, go left and right, you can actually lower this down just like you would be with the other harvesters that are in the game. And as far as the Grim stuff, the Maxtron. Okay, so you got that control. We'll fold her back up. We'll pack the entire unit back up because we're not going to be harvesting right this moment. We will go ahead and take the brakes off this thing. We're going to give it a little spin around the yard here. Now, a lot of people were questioning whether this would have the steering just like you had in with the Ropa. You do actually have 4 distinctively different steering modes in this. Right now I'm using the articulated, or what they call flexible steering, which means you've got an articulating point right there behind the digger head, or behind the cab, and that allows you to have flexible steering or articulated steering. If I hold down both mouse buttons, you'll see that I can change to rigid steering. Now my wheels turn, and that is what actually allows me to steer the vehicle. It's strictly off of the wheels pivoting in for me to steer. Let's set this up in a straight line, and we can go into crab steering. So the first one is crab steering to the left. That's going to bring the whole thing to the left and kick it out. So now I have to counter to go in a straight line. That's so you can keep the head going straight in a cut, but have the vegetation, or keep the rear end out of your vegetation. All right, and then if we wanted to flip that again, we can go crab steering to the right. Get her back in a straight line here. Go. And we'll follow a straight line, and there you have your crab steering countered off to the right. So yeah, you've got your different steering modes. Very nice. Me, I like the articulated steering in it. Pretty much, mostly. Alright, so that is that. And that is the basics of the T4. Now we're going to do a little harvesting in just a moment. But before we get into doing the harvesting, we're going to get into the variant and talk a little bit about it. And just go through each of the implements for you. I won't load them all up right now, but we will load up the auger wagon because we're going to use it. There's our header trailer. By the way, you just pull it in here, load it into there. Looks like it's got some locks on it, so that's nice. We'll mess around with that in just a minute. Here is your grain auger wagon. It works just like the auger wagon in game, except it works on the variant, and you just back up into it, hit the button, and it'll go. Let me tell you what. Let me go get the little New Holland. We'll get it over here. We'll use our baby New Holland to get that trailer out of the way. And then we can actually get the variant over here and utilize it a little bit. And we can also mess around with this header trailer some. Here we go. Back our header or tractor in here. Grab our dolly trailer. It is a dolly, unfortunately. I'm not the biggest dolly fan, but I get it. You know, that's the way it is for header trailers mostly. You do see some with like a lift jack on it, but mostly everything's dolly. So we'll bring that over here in front of our T4. Oops, keep hitting the wrong button. And then we'll load the header up on there. So we can back up just a little bit here. I do need to, on the header, I need to go ahead and collapse that in. So let's go ahead and hit G to select the front end, and X will fold it up. There you can see your vegetation cutter and the inner workings of everything. All right, so now we'll just drive it on up over here. Bring it up to the trailer. It's not a crazy trailer like that Ropa trailer was. You just basically pull it on up in here. Get her into the place where she goes. Hit Q to drop her off. And you're done. And that is ready to be transported. And we'll take it up to where we're going to be harvesting some beets in just a moment. Now let's go look at the Terra variant. Because I think a lot of people are really into this whole part of it. And they like saddle tracks. They like this. This is the added bonus to the whole pack is the Terra variant. So we'll jump up inside of it. Let's take a look at the interior on that. Very nicely detailed. It's almost like it should have IC, but it doesn't. You know, you would think it's got some IC by seeing the fact that it has your step switch for your center console to be able to adjust that, but you can't. So we'll look. You've got your operation systems here. All of that is mapped out for you. So much detail to not have IC, but Giants has never done IC, or doesn't really do IC. More light switches. Back reverse monitor there. Same center console as that's in the T4. So, and a little buddy seat there as well. So that's that for you. We'll fire her up and give it a listen. Pretty quiet on the cab. Exterior. Fire it back up. Yep, not much to it. All right, so this also has the 4 steering modes on it for you. So right now we are in, looks like rigid steering. So as you see, rigid steering. If I hold both down, I go into, well, I'm in rigid steering now. So just the front wheels pivot on rigid steering. If I go in crab, you'll see the wheels crab. On it. So the back end's kicked out a little bit from the front. You can change over to crab right. So the rear end's traveling off center to the right. And then we go into flexible steering, which gives me 4-wheel steering. All right. And then you've got your different vessels here for you. I won't really get into the slurry and the manure. That's stuff you can get into. You do have the injector that comes with it. Then you have an auger wagon basically here in this one. And you just back into it, connect it up. Once you get connected up, you have to, I'm not sure, I don't think you have to unpack this one. But you do have a pipe on it just like you have on an auger wagon that you put out. And that'll be used to offload. But you don't have to unpack this one at all. Alright. And when you're ready to drop it off, you just hit Q again, the legs come out, and you're out from underneath it. The one we're going to be using today in the video is going to be, basically, it's considered an auger wagon as well for the sugar beets. And that is going to be this guy, which I just ran into. We'll back up underneath it. Hit Q to hook it up. Now, this is a little bit different. This essentially has a lot of the same functionality that you have with your T4, in that we'll have to hit X to unfold it first. And that way it's set up to actually receive sugar beets. So it puts out a lip there for them to come into, and it gets your pipe up out of the way. And then when you are ready to offload, then you're going to hit your pipe again, which I managed to hit the store. P is not for pipe, O is. So O lowers out your pipe, and then once again you have the same functionality with your pipe or your conveyor belt as you do with your sugar beet harvester. Very nice. And that's that. So how's it all work in action? Let's find out. We're going to go to where I've got a sugar beet field pre-planted and ready to go, and we'll take a look at all of this. So when we come back, we'll be harvesting sugar beets. While we're moving equipment, let's go ahead and talk about price of objects. If we look in here for the beet harvester, we've got the Holmer Terra DOS T440, $458,000. It is going to set you back. Now, remember, the Maxtron was $479. While you think that's a little bit cheaper, you still have to buy the topper for it and processor. So that's $57,000. So you're looking at just over $500,000 to purchase it. So keep that in mind. And then you got the trailer on top of that. The trailer runs you header trailers. The Holmer trailer is another $15,000. So you might want to consider driving around with the front on it and save yourself a little bit of money there. Then as far as the Terra variant, it's considered a tractor. You'll find it under tractors. It's $249,000 just for the tractor. Then we're going to go under, let me remember, we're under auger wagons for our two loaders. We'll look for auger wagons. I'm going blind here and can't seem to find it. There we go. Under auger wagon, you're going to find the grain tank, the GB25 grain tank. That's $45,000. The sugar beet tank is the RB35 sugar beet tank. That's $62,000. Yeah, you're going to run up some bills here purchasing this equipment. For the slurry tank, we're going to be looking at $54,000 for the tank, another $12,000 if you want to do injection. And then finally for manure, you've got the Bergman TSWA19TV, $43,000. Now, as far as capacity, it's 19,700 liters for that one. When you consider that compared to the Strawman, you've got 32,000 there. The little Bergman is 68,000 liter, and the Ursus was 15.5. So it's a little bit smaller than this. Well, a lot smaller than this. Not nearly as small as the Ursus. So on a big field, you're probably going to get a lane done with this guy. Working width on it is 20 meters. The working width on this one is 15. So a little bit wider width, though, working with it. Looking at the slurry, if we go to the slurry tanker, it holds 21,000 liters versus the tow behind, which is 18,000. So it actually holds more than the tow behind, which is kind of nice. That's pretty good. Let's see, what else have we got? As far as the grain capacities on our auger wagons, let's look at those real quick. And again, I have to remember where auger wagon is. There we go. The grain capacity, 25,000 liters. That is a little bit shorter than the horse. So doesn't hold as much. And then the Holmer, that's going to hold 35,000 for you on that. So, and if you compare 35,000, what is that? That's like a medium size tipper. If we looked at the tippers, that would be in the line of like a Flegel, which is 32. The Cramp is 40. So, and the Agroliner is 45,000. So that'll give you some ideas on that. All right, enough of that. How does it actually play? Let's get in here. Go over here. We'll connect back up to our cutting head. You have a little bit wider head on this, but it's probably still going to be 4 rows, I would imagine. Connect up. Let's back up. Let's get that opened. All right, so I've got a big, huge field here that we want to start harvesting. And we'll start over here on this side and just start topping it. And let's see, we'll start over on this field. Won't work yet. You guys can recognize I'm on Buren Home. So let's go ahead and get everything started up. We'll switch over to the tractor itself. We'll open it up so we can get to work. Once it gets unfolded, we'll engage the cutters and we'll get to doing this. Alright, so it looks like it's 5 rows. Where the Maxtron was 4, it looks like this is going to be a 5-row cutter. Maybe even get 6 if we get it all lined up right. Looks like we might actually be able to get 6 with it. Cheat over a little bit, see what we do. I mean, it doesn't line up perfectly like it should, but it looks like lined up the way we got it right now, we're getting 6. I'm going to turn GPS on, give myself a nice straight line here to work off of. Activate that. Now I got a good straight line to go. It does look like I'm getting about 6 rows. Whereas I think the Maxtron was only 4. Turn my GPS off for a second. I'm going to drift over just a little bit. Oh, I can't drift over too much. I was trying to get it straightened up so I'm getting all 6 rows perfectly. There we go. And our harvest speed looking like about 7 miles an hour. I will say this thing has a lot of power to it. I brought it from the workshop up the back way to the farm with that big steep hill coming from the workshop. 22 miles an hour coming up that hill. It powered right on up the hill. Max speed on it 25 miles an hour was what I got. So it looked like it might go a little bit faster. Nice. All right, so let's go ahead and make our turn here. I'm gonna back her up a little bit. There we go. And we'll make our cross around here. Just run a little headland. Oops. Forgot to put my header down. Here we go. All right, so let's run across here. Get our headland cut. Very nice. Huge capacity on this thing. All right. We'll back her up a little bit. I know what you're thinking. What about crab steering? All right, so let's bring out our help menu, make sure we get in the right one, and let's do crab steering to the left. Make sure I'm on the right piece. I'm on the header right now, so let's get crab steering to the left. There we go. Change back over so I'm on the header, and we'll do this slow so we can get adjusted. There we go. So if you're a stickler for running it where you're out of the vegetation, you can do the crab steering. There you go. All right. That's fun. Yeah. Okay, let's get back in here so I can get some steering in. Let's see. Go back to the back. Let me flip her around so I get some independent steering. I'm not a big fan of the crab steering thing. Okay, that doesn't seem to be right. I am in... Let's look at this. I am still in crab steering left. Okay. Well, let's see if we can get her backed up and straighten up. That's going to take a little getting used to. Is the steering with it. Being able to make your turns. Yeah, I'm a big fan of articulated. Whoa, what just happened there? What did I... Whoa, I don't want to be in auto combine. Hello. Turn that off. Sometimes it's not best to do things in the dark. Alright, let's back up. I was wondering why all of a sudden it took off and went into rigid steering. There we go. Let's back up. And in this case, if I were harvesting this field for real, I would come around here and I would cut on up this hill, because I wouldn't want to do section. I wouldn't want to do that. So I would just come on over here and I'd run right up this line here. There we go. So I break my field into pieces. I tend to harvest in sections. We're at 19% so far. I did not spray this field. It is simply a test field, so it's just planted. So we're not getting maximum growth out of it. But yeah, we are still picking up 6. We're picking up 6 rows at a time with a head. So going to save you a little bit of time versus the Maxtron, which only did 4 at a time. See if we're in line there. We are. All right. So we'll let that run for just a moment. I'll get a little bit more in here and then we will go ahead and dump it out. Zoom in here, see all the different things that are going on. So we got in the front. See if we can get zoomed in here a little bit for you. So in the front, we've got the vegetation being taken off by the front unit, right? And then we've got the beets being dug up, transferred, and we see a little dirt animation going in there. And we can see the little beets going back and being funneled to the center conveyor. Then they transfer back through the little cages, wrap around. Up the conveyor, dirt is being shed off the bottom the entire time, which is cool. Yeah, nice. Very nice. Alright, we'll move back over here and we'll start heading back up our field. Make one more pass. Set up here. And we'll run on my GPS line. Put that in auto. I'm going to put that on hired help. Let my hired help drive that. And meanwhile, I'm going to go grab a different piece of machinery. All right, here we are. We are in the Terra variant. We're ready to go pick up some beets. See how this works. Once again, we have to open up the back. get it ready to receive the beets. And we'll run up here to our harvester that our hired help is running right now. And we'll see if we can get him to offload to us. We'll take some beets out. There we go. And there we go. They shoot out like a big thing of caramel. Yeah, it'd be nice to see individual units coming out, but I get it. In other words, we get a big carpet of sugar beets that come out like they're stuck together with some ooey gooey syrup. All right, let's get around here. That's doing its thing, and then we can go back. Just for giggles, I'm trying to fold it up with sugar beets inside of it. It will not do that, so I just wanted to point that out. Top speed 26 miles an hour for us headed back. We'll head over here to our area where we drop off our sugar beets. And there's my potato field with my potato harvester in it. Alright, come over here, and we're going to offload these by hitting O with our pipe. And we should be able to pull the pipe down and just offload these directly, or can we? We cannot. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah, let's double check that and verify. If you can't offload straight to the ground, that's kind of a bummer. I was thinking you would be able to offload to the ground, but apparently you cannot. That's a bummer. Let me just double check this. Pipe in. There is nothing. Now that, kids, is a bummer. I should be able to load these right off of here onto the ground. And without that ability, so that means this is just one more extra piece of machinery that you've got to use on your farm. You're still going to have a tipper to load these into. That's sort of a bummer deal. I was thinking I know how the operations work, but I was thinking for the game, seeing as it's mainly a single player game, I was thinking you would be able to offload to the ground by lowering that down a little bit, instead of having to come over here to another tipper and then offload everything into the tipper. So yeah, keep that in mind. You're going to have to run 3 pieces of machinery if you want to use this. Though it does give you the auger wagon function that you might have been missing on big fields where maybe you wanted to have a semi and you were never able to have a semi because you didn't have that auger wagon functionality. But I got to be honest with you, I would love to see it be able to offload right into your storage bin there, instead of having to have another truck to transfer it into. That's sort of a bummer. So it will work. It basically becomes an auger wagon. Then you've got to have a semi or some sort of field side container that you're going to offload into, and then basically you're just going to chase the T4 while it unloads. I gotta say though, I am digging all of the ground dirt textures on this. I'm digging the fact that it's just got dirt falling out from underneath it the entire time. That's pretty cool. That's very nice little Nice little effect they got going on there. Yep. Come on, Auto Combine. You are definitely not the best. Alright, well, there's the down and dirty basics of it. I think you guys get the idea. Hopefully you like it. And again, it's now available. I downloaded it Wednesday afternoon about 4 o'clock was when my download became available. And I know some Xbox people had gotten it sooner than that. So go grab yourself a copy of it. $9.99 US for the pack. So basically you get the 2 tractors, you know, the harvester and the Terra variant, and then you get 4 attachments for the Terra variant, and then you get the header and the trailer for the T4. So if you like doing sugar beets and you like being realistic about it, and want that extra little bit of realism, I think that having the Terra variant and having the sugar beet conveyor handler here, I think that's nice. If you've got a really big thing like Field 1 on Manchester, it would come in very handy for you. It would keep you from having to have trucks, or even if you're playing on this map and you're doing one of the more remote fields and you want to you know, have a semi bring in everything, but you don't want the semis going in the field. Like, I'm one of those people who doesn't like to take the semis into the field. I like to use my tractors in the field. Semis or field side containers. So this would come in handy for you, and then you have that shuttling it back for you. So anyways, there's your first look at it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the show notes below. If you liked the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. I do new videos each and every day. So anyways, we're going to do a lot of sugar beet harvesting this week on the channel, so come on back and join me for that. Until next time, guys, I'm Mr. Moose. This has been our mod showcase of the Holmer DLC. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.